The restaurant didn't just serve food, it served status. Crystal chandeliers reflected off marble floors so polished they looked wet, and the low murmur of wealth filled the air like background music. This was the kind of place where reservations were made weeks in advance and mistakes were not forgiven. Every table was occupied by people who believed the world bent naturally in their direction. At the center table sat Victor Lang, a billionaire whose name traveled faster than his shadow. Tech tycoon. Investor. A man who treated rooms like this as extensions of his ego. He leaned back in his chair, cufflinks catching the light, lips curled with the quiet confidence of someone who had never been told no, and never listened when they were. Across from him sat bankers, influencers, foreign investors, all laughing a half-second too late at his jokes. And standing beside the table was Amani. She held a leather-bound menu in both hands, posture straight, expression neutral. Her uniform was immaculate, but it did nothing to hide the fact that she did not belong to their world, at least not in their eyes. To them, she was just another waitress. Replaceable. Invisible. Victor didn't even look at her when he spoke. Instead, he turned to his guests and said, casually, in Mandarin. Let's see if she understands this. It's always amusing to watch them pretend. A few people chuckled. One woman covered her mouth, laughing softly. Another man smirked and lifted his glass. Amani understood every word. Victor continued, his Mandarin deliberate, slow, dripping with mockery. I'll take the Peking duck. Tell the chef not to overcook it like last time. And tell her, he tilted his head toward Amani without looking, to smile more. Customers like effort. The table erupted in polite laughter. Amani's fingers tightened around the menu, just slightly. Not enough for anyone to notice. Her face remained calm, unreadable. Inside, something shifted. She had heard this tone before. On planes. In boardrooms she wasn't supposed to be in. In countries where people assumed silence meant ignorance. Victor finally looked at her. What? He said in English now, eyebrows raised. Did I say something difficult? The room went quiet. Every eye turned toward her. This was the moment people like Victor loved, the pause. The imbalance. The silent dare that said prove you belong here, or disappear. Amani inhaled slowly. Yes, sir, she said softly in English. Peking duck. Medium crisp. No overcooking. Victor smiled, victorious. Then he added, again in Mandarin, lower this time, meant only for his table. See? They never understand. They just nod. One of the investors laughed a little louder than necessary. Amani didn't nod. She stood there for half a second longer than protocol allowed. And in that half second, the air changed. She lifted her eyes and met Victor's directly. When she spoke in flawless, unaccented Mandarin, clear, controlled, and deadly calm. Actually, she said, your pronunciation is slightly off. And the way you ordered was inefficient. The sound of the room breaking into silence was almost physical. Forks paused midair. A wine glass froze inches from a man's lips. Someone at a nearby table turned fully in their chair. Victor's smile cracked. Amani continued, still in Mandarin. You used a regional phrase that implies familiarity with the chef. You don't have that relationship. Also, correcting staff publicly is considered rude, not powerful. You could hear breathing now. Victor stared at her like she had just rewritten reality. She wasn't done. And one more thing, she added, voice still even. In Mandarin culture, when someone stays quiet, it doesn't mean they don't understand. It usually means they're deciding whether you're worth responding to. A ripple moved through the room. Victor's face darkened. Who do you think you are? He snapped, switching back to English. You're a waitress. Amani inclined her head politely. Yes, she said. Tonight. That word, tonight, hung in the air like a loaded weapon. Before Victor could respond, his phone buzzed on the table. He ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. One of the investors glanced down at his own phone and frowned. Another whispered, "Victor, check your messages." Victor scoffed. What is this? Some kind of joke? Amani stepped back slightly, returning the menu to her side. I'll place your order now, she said calmly. Enjoy your evening. She turned and walked away. Behind her, Victor finally looked at his phone. His expression changed. Color drained from his face. The confident billionaire, the man who had just tried to humiliate a stranger, sat frozen as the first notification loaded. Then the second. Then the third. Whatever he was reading. It wasn't good. And just before the screen cut to black, Amani stopped walking. She turned her head slightly and said, without raising her voice, "You might want to answer those." Sir. Victor Lang stared at his phone like it had betrayed him. The screen glowed against the white tablecloth, illuminating the sharp lines of his face, lines that had never known fear, only control. His thumb hovered, unmoving. Around him, the laughter that had once orbited his presence collapsed into an uneasy quiet. No one reached for their drinks now. No one smiled. Another notification buzzed. This time, Victor couldn't ignore it. He unlocked the phone. His eyes scanned the message once, then again. His jaw tightened, not in anger, but in calculation. The kind men like him did when numbers stopped adding up and exits started disappearing. Across the table, an investor leaned forward. "Victor," he said quietly. "Is everything all right?" Victor didn't answer. Amani watched from a distance, standing near the service station, hands folded calmly in front of her. To anyone else, she was just a waitress waiting for the kitchen.